most parents are governed principally by a fear that their kids aren't going to be ready for adult life. How did this walking beside metaphor, how did that translate into, I'm sure your desire to make sure your kids are ready for adulthood, and how can they be if they don't follow the traditional path?
I feel the fear. I feel your fear. I've got it. I feel the fear too. One of the things
every parent does. It's normal, right? It's normal.
Yep. Yes, yeah. It's normal. And when Michael and I were talking on Facebook the other day about a post I made about I haven't looked at my children's grades or tests or report cards, and I've offered them they are welcome to opt out of all state testing if they want. I haven't looked at any of that stuff in 7 years now. So it's been 7 years since I have seen a report card. That fear is still there. So even though I haven't looked at the report card, and even though the fear is less, I do have to admit it is less. It has mitigated a little bit. Is still there. The fear that what if they get a bad grade? What if they fail that test? What if they flunk the grade and have to repeat the 8th grade or have to repeat 5th grade? Yes, the fear is still there. It will never go away. But I'm here to tell you, you can not look at your children's grades for 7 years. I'm proof I've done it. When you get the whole list of emails, like every day you get an email from the school, hey, here's your child's tardy attended. You just delete it. It just comes in, you delete. So I looked at the first one 7 years ago, realized what they were doing, and have not looked at them ever since. Delete. So that fear is still there. I still want my children to succeed, to be successful at what they do, but I have to give that up in order to enrich in our experience together, and in order to build the parent-child bond that I really think and that I value even more than a good or bad grade on a report card.
But two things I just want to, that I'm noticing, and one is that it sounds like that you got off the conveyor belt of the conventional timing of how this timing has to happen, that you're giving your children enough enough time to bake in the oven, so to speak, to get where they need to go in life. And you've got trust, equal amount of trust. You have fear, of course, because we love our children. We want the best for them, of course. But you also trust that, and you have enough faith in them that they're going to get where they need to go. It seems. Yeah. You're certainly supporting them in that journey.
Yeah, and you don't, as you know, as you probably all know, you don't know for sure. And let me read to you. I'm going to look on my phone here for a sec. I saved this, knowing that I was going to come on this show. I saved this text I got from my wife the other day. My children are all seniors, so they were doing their senior photos, and we hired a photographer, and they went around to various landmarks around town and took their senior photos. Here's what the photographer said. The children were walking around, and he was doing shots and things, and he said to my wife, "Do your kids get along this well all the time?" He's like, "I've never seen kids like them," end quote. And then later he said, as they were walking around and my children were playing around or playing tag or whatever, he said, "Do they just roll into play like that? Like, you never see that in teenagers." And it was interesting, the points that he picked up was how well do they get along, how comfortable they were with play and with each other, and mixing play with being with adults, with doing a photo shoot, just how it all flowed nicely. The photographer, just a normal photographer off the street, we don't even know him, was pretty shocked at just how normal and natural and nice the interaction was with these three teenagers. That's worth more to me than any report card.